Good evening, everybody. On this wonderful Tuesday evening, March the 11th, 2025. Sonny Puzikas here from Fort Honey Badger in Texas. Please let me know if the sounds and the views are all right, and we'll go from there. Louis, Clem, Kenneth, Uncle Guns, Daniel, how you doing, sir? Derek, Mr. Hollaby, how you doing, sir? All right, all right, all right. So let us take a look at things here. Don Stinson, how you doing, sir? I'm glad you made it back. Mr. Wise, how you doing? Daniel, it's probably my voice that's scratchy. I've been yelling at people 7 out of the past 10 days teaching classes. So, and starting tomorrow noon, I have another 5 days of teaching to get done, so I probably will be much more scratchy after that by the time the number 10 comes up next Tuesday. Chug Homestead Medical, how you doing, sir? Skywalker. So yeah, we finished Fear Inoculum Sunday evening, and it was a good week. A lot of discoveries, a whole lot of interesting reflections, I believe, that was had by 18 attendees. It was a rather large class, especially for the class of the depth of like Fear Inoculum. Sam Russell, how you doing? Brian, sir, how you doing? Chris Prenovost. Quite a few of you I will be seeing tomorrow. All right, Turtle, you are on your way. That's awesome. So yeah, Josh DeWald, how you doing? Like half the people present are people that I've seen for at least 5 days this last week and through the weekend. So it's kind of funny. And well, what can I say? Few things. Joe, how you doing, sir? Few things. Um, First of all, I will make some announcements at the end of this live stream. We have some exciting news about a couple new sponsors for the Gospel of Violence podcast and Fort Honey Badger classes being held here. I'm very excited because that's going to be Mr. Fortune. Kerry, how you doing? Disgruntled operator. So yeah, um, listen up for that announcement at the end of today's live stream. And we shall go on now. So anyway, uh, we had 5 days of Fear Inoculum 2025. It was so far the largest significantly oversold Fear Inoculum in its 5 year history. We had 18 participants from a number of different states. Majority came from PA with my brother Shinde, who somehow talked many people from Eastern Pennsylvania area to join the class. For almost every single one of them, he had to contact me and talk me into opening an additional spot because by the time some of Shinde's friends decided to join the class, the fear inoculum. We were full at capacity, but he presented very strong case for each guy from Pennsylvania. So by the time it was all done, we ended up with 18 people, including some of my lifetime students. So we almost at a double of the stated capacity. It kind of pushed me. It kind of pushed me a little bit because of the depth of the material that we explored during those 5 days. So having 18 people was adventurous, but I think it went quite well. I think it went quite well. To the best of my knowledge, there's only few minor injuries. I know Clem and Shinde. Adam, how you doing, sir? Lance, Mr. Masters, how you doing? Jose Rivera, how you doing, sir? So yeah, there were a few injuries, possibly some, slightly cracked little bones here and there, whether it's fingers or toes or whatnot. Uh, Sky, how you doing? And there were some very colorful bruising that we have observed. It's not necessary that we're going to be posting any visuals of that because I'm not looking per se to scare people away from signing up for the future Fear Inoculums. And by the way, those of you who are interested, the 2026 Fear Inoculum is on the website, and so far I believe we already have 4 signups, so hurry up if you're interested. Starting tomorrow noon, we will have a Bratva number 5 gathering. We will be working blades for 3 days. And following after that, this coming Saturday, Sunday, myself and Louis from Elcar Concepts and Andrew Smrecek from Combat Arts Training, who will be on his way to Texas shortly. We will be teaching a joint collaborative class within the framework of Shooter Fighter Matrix with major focus on shooting dimension within that matrix. I'm really looking forward to that class, not only to participate as one of the 3 instructors, but also watching and learning material that both Louis and Andrew will present. We had some exchanges, some discussions about what it's going to be like, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be great, exciting, and it's going to be productive time. You can still sign up for that class. That's upcoming Saturday, Sunday. It is on my website. Don just rubbed that red Texas dirt on it. All better. That's good. That's true, Chuck. Some of those people have had class, but some of those injuries, they may require some special attention from you as far as how to treat pain. So that's probably me and you will have a separate discussion at some point before the next Fear Inoculum, maybe put some materials on how to deal with not necessarily debilitating, but damn close to it pain that may result from some of the things that we do at Fear Inoculum. Anyway, going back to what happened during the Fear Inoculum. We did a lot of interesting work for people. It was about half a class that have had experience with some of my classes that go into depth on some of the metrics and materials and topics covered in Fear Inoculum. I think we had 5 or 6 guys, maybe more than that, probably 7 or 8 guys that have taken Fear Inoculum before. So this was not a new experience to them, although it was. No class, especially like Fear Inoculum, is the same. This was the 5th iteration of Fear Inoculum. Every single one of them is different. And we we are planning some significant changes for 2026 as well. We started day one with some discussions on fears. We started talking about breathing, did quite a few exercises, went to failure, went to the stage where people were failing or giving up. Again, that was all tied in with breathing, with changing of your focus, with changing of your mind space, your head space as to what's going on. Uh, we progressed from there. Discussions and topics started moving in the direction of more and deeper dissection of what's going on in our heads, what's going on with our quote unquote mindset when we are pushed. I have to say, I am truly blessed with the quality of dudes, men attending these classes. We had 18 people in the class, as I mentioned earlier. The attentiveness level, the dedication level was incredible. And at the same time, we had fun. It was entertaining. You know, having people like Josh and then our Pennsylvania crew and other folks with amazing sense of humor and sharp sarcasm and certainly above average IQs and levels of dedication to training, to learning, made all 5 days very fulfilling. Not only to those who participated, to students, but to me as an instructor. I want to do a special shout out to my brother and my student Clem. Clem assisted quite a bit. This was the third time that Clem was taking Fear Inoculum. Um, Clem helped out, walked in between the groups, doing the drills, doing the exercises, learning new stuff, and assisted them in deeper understanding, sometimes literally increasing the depth of it. So thank you, Clem. I appreciate that. While you were limping around and you're possibly, I don't know if it's broken, but it certainly looked like it's a painful toe from your attempt at the leg breaking machine. And at the same time, just as importantly and no less significant, shout out to every single one of the guys who attended the class. You guys all are assets. And we need more of this. We need more dudes dedicating themselves to rediscovering what is the true meaning of being a man. You know, that stale cliche of warrior ethos, looking at it not through the lens of some kind of a cosplaying, but really pushing themselves squarely into territory of uncomfortable, sometimes scary places where we don't want to go. So watching 18 dudes doing it day in, day out, tired or not, hurt or not, was very fulfilling. Uh, of course, we did some breaking, uh, both of this and then with a front kick. Some of the videos will leak out uh, relatively soon. As I said, I still have a full 5 days left of teaching to do and a whole lot of things to catch up. So when I get exhausted from doing other things, I'll sit down and do some video editing and put some things out. Again, I'm still either in the middle or towards the end of fine tuning number of videos that will go to subscribers and club members for the 350, 250, 150, 1 year subscribers to Gospel of Violence podcast membership and my Patreons. And there's also going to be some new things coming up. So again, we did some knife work, we did some night work, and I will be talking about it a little bit in our training topic of the week. as far as working in the dark once we get to it. So let's move in to the next little part, and that's Sonny's reading room for the week. Well, the reading room for this week is very simple. It's a very small and very short little publication. I have it right there. Each person who attended Fear Inoculum has received a copy. And it's a little publication of I don't know how many pages. I don't think they even numbered. As a matter of fact, they are. And that is 15 pages. It's called This Was From Me. And this is published by St. Paisios Monastery, and it's a spiritual testament of Saint Seraphim of Viritsa, Russia. I gave this to each attendee. TG, you fell in love with Clem last week. That's terrible, man. I'm kind of worried, TG. All right. Let's not get into that, the off track as we often do while we're training, where it gets a little bit rated beyond what we want to be in the public space, right? So anyway, this was for me Spiritual Testament of Saint Seraphim. And in the beginning of the book, it says the following text is taken from a letter which the saint sent to his spiritual child, a bishop who was in the Soviet prison at the time, as a consolation and counsel that God the Creator addresses to man's soul. I saw this little publication first at our church here in Jacksonville, and then once I read it through, it really hit me the right way. So I asked Father Barry's wife to order significant number of them, and they're sitting still here in the big packages, because I will be passing these little books. Sorry, I dropped something here making noises. I will be passing these books to students that are taking classes that are a little bit more in depth. But I want you to listen to first page and then a couple more quotes from this little book. Have you ever taken into consideration that everything concerning you concerns me too? For what concerns you concerns the apple of my eye. You are dear in my eyes, precious, and I have loved you. And for this reason, it is a special joy for me to train you. When temptations rise up against you, and the enemy comes upon you like a river, I want you to know, this was from me. Your weakness has need of my strength, and your safety lies in giving me the possibility of protecting you. Roll the losing dice. What do you mean? What tools do they teach? What are you talking about? Anyway, to continue. I'm going to pick a couple things here for you to understand. Has someone slandered you? Leave this to me, and cleave more closely to me your refuge, with all your heart, so that you might hide from the contradiction of the tongues. I will reveal your righteousness as the light and your judgment as the noonday. Have your plans been ruined? Are you downtrodden in soul and exhausted? This was from me. You formed your plans and you had your intentions, and you brought them to me so that I would bless them. But I want you to leave it to me to arrange and direct the circumstances of your life. Then responsibility for everything will lie with me. For you, this is too difficult. You cannot manage them by yourself. For you are merely an instrument and not the operator. Anyway, I'm not gonna go much further with this. I highly recommend this little book. Again, this is called This Was From Me. It's printed by St. Paisius Monastery. Um, you can probably find it if you look for it. And if you have problems finding it, contact me and I will gladly hook you up with it. So that is Sonny's reading room. Let's move on really quickly into something that's going to be a little bit different. So let's go to a my weekly health tip. And I actually don't have a health tip, but I hope I actually have a question instead of a tip. And the question is about rolled losing dice. Is the Glock handgun worth it? Well, majority of people that train with us use Glocks. So yes, I'm pretty sure you can do the open source search about Glocks, about other handguns, and you can easily discover that information through sources such as Google. So the question is about PEMF and grounding mats. Uh, this is this is something that Megan, my wife, started kind of digging into, and we haven't had a chance yet to take a deeper trip down this rabbit hole. But if somebody out there, if you're listening, if you know something about those PEMF grounding mats, uh, I would definitely be interested to hear from you. Um, Apparently, it's supposed to help body's pH for those who are indoors a lot and are not walking around barefoot often. So that's something that we roll. Roll the losing dice. Stop playing. Listen, dude. If you're gonna continue with this shit, you're gonna be gone and not back. Is that clear? Colt Manning, how you doing? Jim Baker, how you doing? So yeah, if any of you guys do have some information on PEMF or grounding mats, or have any suggestions, resources to go and take a look at things, uh, please send it to me. As I said, we just started kind of looking into it and wanted to find out more. And I was kind of going like, I have a lot of people that are interesting, that are on their own journey to better living, to better health. So again, if you guys have any information about it, please let me know. Yeah, Clem, indeed. At the end of the Lent, yes, I'm looking forward to that myself, brother. But since the Lent has just started, I think it's going to be a while. All right, Sky, I appreciate that. So you said that you have few friends that have mats and mattress pads. Yeah, that's what Megan mentioned to me, and I appreciate, man. If you can get me some information and send it my way, I would definitely appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. So again, I didn't have any tip this Tuesday as far as health tip. I had a question about it, and with that, we will move on. All right, Derek, I see what you're saying. as I said, I'll be looking through information. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things out there that we will take a look at and try to figure out, as much as possible before we make any decisions and go in that direction. Very good. All right, let's move on really quickly to the next topic, and that topic would be a training topic of the week. Let there be light. White light skills. Shouldn't it be studied, learned, and practiced as a standalone ability? We spent a little bit of time one of the days here during the Inoculum working with the light. We did a little bit of work both with the light and live fire. And the consensus from all 18 guys participating, yes, Don Stinson, Josh D has a couple tools to help people be grounded. Uh, I generally, you can say I possess a couple of those tools as well, but it's not the kind of grounding I'm looking for. Again, this is the question that came from Megan. So probably tasering her and pepper spraying will not be my best option to help her with grounding. But we can explore the options. I'm going to let you, Don, discuss it with Megan, and we'll see where that goes. Right? But that is funny. All right. So, white light. And by the way, I wanted to do a little shout out, not so little, to my dear friend and brother Shinde, who was very, very gracious and provided me with pretty damn amazing light. Hey, look at that. Chris Sofana here. How you doing, sir? Long time. Louis, if you think I know Megan's shoe size, brother, you think too highly of me. I really don't. She should be back. I'm not sure if she's watching because I'm pretty sure that Arya keeps her busy. But I will ask Megan. Well, plus, it is very likely you will see her tomorrow over the next few days. So I think most of the dudes that participated in Fear Inoculum had a little bit of a revelation as far as how deep the rabbit hole goes with the white light. Granted, each tool within the diminished or low light conditions has its use, has its pros, has its cons. Uh, as I addressed to the guys here during the Fear Inoculum, my knowledge and my exposure to the latest technology, especially when it comes to night vision devices and thermal imaging, is not up to par. I don't teach those topics. When time and finances and everything else permits, when I get up with other things, once I acquire relevant and modern gear in this field, uh, I'm going to have to immerse myself into it as a student, go to people that do have up to date information and skills with all the latest technological advances. And so that is not my area of expertise, and thus I don't address that. White light, on the other hand, I have worked with it for quite a while. Now, again, this is not some kind of being generous or whatnot. While I was exposed to some white light work and other things while I was in service, most of my knowledge and then subsequent deep dive into white light usage in diminished and low light conditions. Started with my interactions with Ken Good, who back then was the guy who led Strategos International. I started assisting in teaching classes for Strategos International. Then both me and Ken Good left, and we started separate company, Progressive Training Concepts. And so a lot of my knowledge and initial data came from Ken Good. Now, where we differ is that for one reason or another, it's none of my business. Ken has a tendency not to enjoy teaching this topic and this information to civilian clientele. For the most part, he focuses on very special people, law enforcement, military, spec ops, and so forth and so forth. And I took things that I learned in a little bit different direction, and I started further exploring it based on knowledge and based on experiences and based on data. And I started exploring it from a single person, non-operator, non-law enforcement, non-military perspective. And that's where our information kind of started going, and our methods started going in opposite ways. Then other things transpired. I'm no longer in touch or cooperating or doing anything together with Ken Good or his organization. But nevertheless, I figure credit is where credit is due. Whether we are friends or not, that doesn't change the fact that significant amount of that information came from a specific source. And I just took that information and things that I learned, things that I started working on in somewhat different direction from the origin of the source, and moved on into a more non-operator, civilian, single person, outside of team environment work. And within that, relatively quickly, Jim Baker, as far as videos and YouTube and all that, I'll be working on things, but the way this works is this. I'm not looking to be influencer. I'm not looking to have 2 million followers. I doubt even if I did, with the things that I do and information I present, I would ever get there. Again, I actually have no interest in doing so nor achieving such goals. As far as sponsorships, Rifle Dynamics, I am no longer in. Roll the losing dice. This is going to be your last warning. Stop commenting. Unless you have something relevant to say, stop commenting. And this is the problem, because you have some dudes that have nothing better to do with their lives than come in and act stupid. And it's just, people say don't pay attention, but it's kind of like, not paying attention to stupidity. You can say if you react to it, you glorify it, you elevate it, but not reacting and not pointing out what it is. It's also allowing it to foster. Okay, so if you want to act a fool and make comments like that are absolutely irrelevant to what I do on my live stream, you're going to find yourself banished quickly. And I'm not going to break sweat about it. Tom Hollaby, I remember everything we said. Megan just came back. She's not on YouTube right now to remove and ban people. So, and I'm not going to be wasting my time. So I'm giving the fella fair warning. And if he listens, great. And if he doesn't, things will be taken from there. Anyway, so while working with the white light in diminished light conditions, I think dudes realized pretty quickly that it is a standalone skill. And it was interesting to find out how how significant is the disconnect between our skills pressing the trigger on the gun, but then not having a separate skill to kind of combine that with, and having ability to use your white light to amplify your, so to speak, power projection, for the lack of a better term. We spend some time working with the light. We spend some time exploring the timing, exploring the direction, exploring the how to work the hotspot, how to work the areola, where your eyes should be focusing on, how to look at it, how to use different little tricks of the trade to overcome certain things that do happen in low light environment while using the white light. And it was interesting. It was interesting to watch. We had some interesting, good discussions with everyone participating. But my point about this training today is this. Generally speaking, to don night vision devices to grab the things that have more technologically advanced, latest, greatest gadgetry, it's not necessarily something you carry with you on you. And flashlight is pretty common device in most of our possession. If it's not in your pocket, you should fix that. You should have at least one, if not more. Most likely, some of the dudes that do some training and preparation and think about violent environments and what can go wrong and what can happen, they do have a flashlight probably somewhere in their bedroom next to the bed, hopefully more than one. And learning skills to use that light, not just as a device to give you a visual to confirmation and information, but as a two-edged weapon, so to speak, at the same time denying confirmation, visual orientation to your potential opponents. It does take very specific and dedicated training. Uh, for the most part, people work with the white light in combination with the firearms from the get-go. My belief is, and I'm quite strongly convinced about it, that the white light and ability to use the flashlight to its full extent, at least initially, has to be learned, practiced as a standalone topic, as a standalone skill. And if you try it, once you start working some of those things, whether in classes that address low light environment, diminished light conditions, or you do some kind of a force on force training that does involve that, you'll find out pretty quickly that the difference between using a light and really knowing how to use the light to its full extent, or at least to a higher degree of efficiency, can make a very, very significant and sometimes critical difference in the outcome. There's a lot of background turbulence noise-wise in your stream. Yeah, let me try to figure this out as to what's going on with that, sir. Let me see what's going on with that. I think for the most part what this is, it's the cooling, the fan running on the computer. I believe that that's what it is, but I might be wrong. I apologize if there's a lot of noise, guys. Sounds like rain. Yeah, I hear that little buzzing going on, and that is one of the computers here is that running some things in the background. Actually, let me see what it's running so I can. No, it's not raining here yet, and I hope it's not going to be raining anytime soon. because weather-wise, they do expect. DB Cooper, how are you doing, sir? No, I appreciate that, Sega Papa. As I said, I hear the little buzzing going on, and it's something that I think I have something going in the background because I was doing some work on it earlier. But I'll figure this out, and eventually there will be some changes to my technical setup here that will eliminate any kind of little mishaps like that. So anyway, if you are looking to find out more about working the flashlight, gaining the skills, there are a few classes coming up that will address that to a significant depth. The one that's probably is the most relevant, coincidentally, will be in Pennsylvania at the very end of July. Yeah, I understand, Josh. As I said, this is something that is weird and unexpected, but hopefully it's still somewhat something that I will address in the near future. Anyway, I will continue regardless of the little background noise because things have to go on, whether something is going on or not. So, anyway, the class that I have posted on my website, that is Violence and Censored Force on Force class, that is happening, I believe, the last 2 days of July and first day, or maybe the last 3 days of July in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That will have significant amount of low light work in force and force environment. Those of you who are coming to Tremis Muster, it's a good opportunity. I do not do that many force and force classes as of right now because scarcity of the facilities available for it that I need to present material that I work on, that I teach. And this year, for the year 2025, the class in Pennsylvania in August is going to be one of the only two force on force classes that I'm teaching this year. The other one will be here at Fort Honey Badger. It's going to be outdoor force on force class. Hey Bobo, how you doing? Uh, so yeah, those two classes. Uh, if you want to play a little bit with low light, especially in force and force environment, that's where it's going to be happening in the year 2025. Hopefully, God willing, if everything works out, I will schedule some more for 2026, but we'll look at it when the time comes. Again, if you have questions, for the low light environment and utilizing the white light, not the night visions, not the thermal imaging, contact me. We can discuss few things in environments, whether text messages or phone calls or whatnot. But for the most part, it's the topic that needs to be addressed, so to speak, hands-on, because theoretical knowledge will not take you where you need to be, and that's just the reality of it. Adam Hall, we will be using mainly airsoft because of the way UTM has turned. So for one, it's more economical, and two, again, because of the access to UTMs and other man-marking munitions, is relatively restricted and quite pricey. We most likely will be relying mainly on the airsoft for violence and censored. So that's going to be that. Jim Baker, how do you actually properly pronounce that word? Ishmash. Izmash. That's how you properly pronounce it. Mark, my massages are for my friends and people that I like, but I think he needs something else. Alex, how are you doing, brother? All right, so roll the losing dice. I think you have crossed the line, asshole, so you will be gone. Remove yourself because I will block you in every possible way, everywhere. And, you know, although you think that you have some kind of a, I don't know, what would you say, privacy behind your little screen name through YouTube or whatnot, um, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what can be done and how much can be found out. Okay? So don't roll that losing dice. Get lost, go troll somewhere else. Nobody's interesting. Oh, he assaulted you? Then stop disrupting shit. Yeah, Tom Wallaby, indeed. All right. Adam Hall. Yeah, when you're shooting out with Brian Keeney, considering that he's what, like 6'3" or something like that, and you are slightly shorter than him, I can see how you would be hitting. You'd be you'd be hit at the top of your dome. Yeah, TG, indeed. Anyway, we're gonna move on, and very very quickly, let's address the current events. This is something that I plan to attend to after next week's training. Well, this week's and this coming weekend's training. I'm going to do a little bit of spring cleaning throughout my social media, all channels and all that, because it just started. Not that it started, but it always has been that way. It's just I'm no longer interested in tolerating bullshit. So I'm gonna be doing some cleaning. Some people will be removed. I'm really not interesting. I'm not really interested in getting involved in any kind of conversations or wasting my time, which is very limited, with people that have nothing of substance to say. Now, the reason why I asked what current events said about current events, Trump derangement syndrome, is it a symptom of something? This is generic question, but I noticed on my feed and elsewhere, there's so many people that whichever topic they choose, whether it's you know Elon Musk and Dodge, whether it's war with Ukraine and American taxpayer money going to that quagmire, whether it's some kind of a other issue, tariffs on Canada, tariffs on Mexico. Mr. Elby, how are you doing, sir? And I noticed interesting trend. You know, everyone, and some of these people I actually know personally. Some of these people I have met in my life. I have patronized some of the businesses. Some of these people even have met me in the events and through training and on and on. Some of them met me through social life. And here's the thing: I really don't mind people having different opinions. I'm I'm okay with people disagreeing. I'm totally fine with people being passionate behind their beliefs and certain views they hold on specific issues. Not everything, but specific issues. If you try to justify somehow pedophilia or minor attracted person or something of that thing, or you're gonna try pushing that the only good Russian is dead Russian, or the only good Jew is the dead Jew, or the only good Muslim is the dead Muslim, uh, we're not gonna be friends for long. I really don't need to read your shit. I don't need to hear you speak, to see your face, to see your changing freaking profile pictures. I don't need you to eat my time. Get fucked, get lost, disappear from my life, and I will help you with that. Kathy, how you doing, ma'am? So Don is already sharing things. That's good. And I'm still enjoying all those amazing cheeses that Don brought from Wisconsin, and it was awesome. So with people, some of my friends, again, some of them I know personally, they keep rolling about this Ukraine thing, or they keep rolling about the Elon Musk having so much power, or they keep rolling. Jeff Tor, how you doing? Long time no see, my brother. How are those tariffs affecting you up there in Canada? So, but here's what I noticed: a lot of those folks, when they are very passionately grabbed, whatever is the topic that they discuss, or they want to bitch about, or complain, or they don't like this, there is one common thing, and that is this. You know, while I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, there are things I dislike, and I'm assuming there will be more. I'm not Trumpster. I'm not some kind of a MAGA guy or whatnot. I am what I am. When I see things that I agree with, that I think need to be done, I'll applaud it. When there is something that goes against what I believe is right, I will point it out. And that is as simple as that. That is as simple as that. And that one common theme that I noticed is that, something that I believe Trump, I didn't watch the whole speech, but I heard some of it, what he said during the State of the Union address, whatever it's called, when he pointed at a bunch of Democratic, senators and congressmen and congresswomen sitting there, and he said, even if I invented or was directly participating in inventing the drug or cure for the most deadly disease, these people would not like it, they would not clap, they would not rejoice. And that is the truth. Uh, Trump derangement syndrome is very, very real. There is an instructor out there who has a pretty, pretty, pretty decent following. You know, I I've watched him on social media for a while. There are some good things that he does that I like. There are some interesting ideas that he has. I knew about a number of disagreements me and him have, as far as politically and on the social things, and the whole thing with transgenderism, whatever. But when he started posting immediately after Trump started speaking about, the tariffs on Canada and other things, he started posting, and he has a lot of American students. He lives in Canada. And he started posting with America with three K's in it, as in KKK, things like that. And I was actually going to respond with a little comment about something actually within the context of what he was talking about that had nothing to do with politics or Trump or anything else. And I realized, and I saw the little comment, that not everyone can comment. You know, if you are on the social media and you post publicly. If you don't want some people to say something, remove those people from your friends list, block them, whatever the case might be. But when you selectively, make a thing that only certain people can post, and you select them based if they are in agreement with you or in disagreement with you, uh, that is being a coward. That is being a coward. Again, I don't mind having good spirited discussions. I think that's healthy. I think it's what grown-ups should do. And so when I see people like that, and then it's interesting because if you take a look at some of the Mark, you're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. But when you look at their profiles and you scroll back and you see certain trends, usually it's pro-vaccine, pro-mask, pro-booster, anti-Trump, Russian collusion, you know, all this bullshit. Again, there are many, many things I disagree with Trump. I'll throw one out at you. Now that they apparently arrested some guy who's an activist in one of the universities, that they had a protest against Israel due to Hamas. Apparently, that dude has a green card, so he's a legal resident. He's not a citizen, but he's a legal resident. And they're talking about throwing him out of the country. Unless he is directly involved with violence and sponsored it, committed it, or whatnot, that is not what it should be like. Now, should he face some kind of a consequences if he was instigating it or whatnot? Maybe. But at the same time, there probably can be asked the question, if he instigated some feelings towards the Jewish population, if, I don't know, if some Russian folks around this country or Western Europe are facing certain things, are we going to address thousands, tens of thousands of people on social media that are instigating and rejoicing things being done to Russians? I'm not advocating for that. We are big boys. We have shoulders. We can carry the weight. It's fine. But it's that. So I'm not some kind of 100% Trumpster. If he farts, I like it. I don't. Uh, so far, what he has done, significant percentage of what he has done. So far, I wouldn't say I'm impressed, but I'm pleased. Not everything, but the overall change of the direction, I think it's positive, net positive, from where this country was heading. Again, do I agree with everything? You'll never agree with everything with your wife, your kids, or even the closest friends or family members. So that I don't have such expectations. So anyway, once I do that house cleaning, some of my longtime followers and friends will no longer be there, which is okay. I'm not going to miss them. I'm pretty sure they're not going to miss me in return, which is also perfectly fine. That way we are kind of on the same page. And I simply don't have time, man. I don't need the distractions of bullshit. I don't need the stupidity of people getting wrapped around the axle about their hatred for one specific person and everything he does. They hate his socks, they hate his tie, they hate his skin, his hair, his wife, his kids, his past, his future, everything they know about him, and 90% of they don't know about him, they hate it all. So I really just don't want to have spent any time to even see what folks like that have to say about it. My time is better used for much more important things. I have family, I have business, I have faith, I have projects. So my focus will be mainly there. I'm kind of looking forward to that spring cleaning. I will be doing it on all of my social media platforms. And with time, I'm going to have my wife take over that, and she's actually going to keep it clean. She's going to be the enforcer of that because right now Megan just started working part time, but God willing, if everything works out well later in this year, Megan will be not working her current job, and she will be helping me with business here and other things. Pierre, I don't believe even if you ask that you have a chance to be off my friends list. I enjoy you. Even when you are a sarcastic asshole, I enjoy you. Plus the baby pics, yes, that alone is worth it. So even if I didn't like you, the cute baby pics, yeah, yeah. By the way, that cuteness does not come from you. It's all from your better half. So hey, that's just the thing. Yes, thank you, Papa. I didn't dig deep into it, but from little that I know, I think is just yeah. With that pro-Palestinian guy, I think they went too far with trying him, with trying to deport him and all that stuff, especially considering his status. And if they do have some information that he directly participated or instigated some direct violence or whatnot, okay, they should present it. And if they don't, I think it's overstepping, and I think it's not good. Yes, Pierre, it has been a while. Hope I'll be seeing you soon to some of my travels, and we'll see. Dog holiday, you have to get a puppy so you don't get booted. I don't believe you have you're not a high risk person, Dog Holiday, to be booted. I think you're gonna be just fine. Just like most of you are who are here, you're not a high risk, with exception of one or two people. So that's that. All right, and last but not least, I do want to make a couple announcements that I'm actually excited about. And those announcements are about our new sponsors. I'm very happy, very proud to announce that we're going to have two new sponsors for the Honey Badger and Gospel of Violence podcast. My dear friend and brother, Butch Becker of Ammo Supply Warehouse, and Shinde of Five Rivers Armament will be our new sponsors. And again, I'm genuinely happy about it. For one, both of these dudes are outstanding human beings. They are dear friends and students. Uh, they've been supportive of what I do for many, many years. Their support is not just business wise. These are the dudes that I would trust my family with, my kids with. These are good people. These are salt of the earth people. Indeed, TG, Eastern Bratva chapter. So, Ammo Supply Warehouse and Five Rivers Armament will be our new sponsors. I will announce all the details and what the benefits our viewers and supporters of this podcast and this live stream, what little benefits here and there you may have from it. I'm sure there will be some special offers. There will be a little bit this and that. Maybe every now and then do some, you know, raffles. We will see. We will discuss that. So, again, I just wanted to let you know ahead of time before we have all the little signage of these two new sponsors from my dear friends Shinde and Butch. that Ammo Supply Warehouse and Five Rivers Armament are our newest sponsors, in addition to, of course, For the Honey Badger honey sprays, body sprays, and honey sprays. That is a side hustle of Megan, my wife. Don't ask me how that sponsorship works because I will not answer those questions. And then, of course, Iron Pick Armament and Defiant Munitions. There are other folks, again, I will be showing my support, not necessarily because they're going to be sponsoring anything or whatnot, but these are dear friends. These are people that I know personally. We trained, we worked on projects together, and on and on and on. So these folks will not be left out just because they are not sponsors. But as far as the two new sponsors, Ammo Supply Warehouse and Five Rivers Armament, support these guys. Obviously, it speaks for itself what these people do. Ammo Supply Warehouse, uh, great place for freedom seats, and Five Rivers Armament. You probably get what they do. We will have links. We will have ways for you to contact them to find out what they offer, what is available, what you can get from them. But all of that will be announced, if not next week, then in the very near future. I appreciate you all joining us this Tuesday. I am still somewhat tired after long week and a half of teaching and doing things. Starting tomorrow, we will have 3 days of invite-only Bratva gathering. It's 3 days of working with blades. And after that, this coming weekend is the Shooter Fighter Matrix with myself, Louis of Elcar Concepts, and Andrew Smredzek of Combat Arts Training, addressing some shooty stuff on the range. As I said, the Bratva gathering is invite only and it starts tomorrow noon. Kind of too late to make any adjustments for that. But the weekend class that starts Saturday morning, we still have few spots available. I highly suggest you take that class. It's pretty unique with three of us kind of shooting shit back and forth about different topics within that framework of Shooter Fighter Matrix. And I think it will be a very productive learning environment with a whole lot of information and a whole lot of fun. As for my classes, it's probably going to be a very, very high round count, in comparison to most of my classes, because again, we're mostly going to be focusing on the marksmanship and shooting portions within the Shooter Fighter Matrix. So those of you who enjoy shooting, it's going to be the thing. And I think that's all I have for this week. I will be back here next Tuesday, going live at a regular time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully, I will be able to address the background noise issue that we faced today and few other issues that we face in the chat that will be taken care of. With that being said, Sonny Puzikas here with Gospel of Violence Podcast, Forward Training Concepts, and For the Honey Badger. This has been Let Us Attend live stream number 9, coming at you from East Texas. I will see you next Tuesday. And quite a few of you here in the comments, I will see you tomorrow at noon or slightly before noon in person. And we're going to get violent and have fun at it. And for the rest of you, till next time, I appreciate you being here. May God bless.